What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Popcorn and Chaos, where we just celebrate the chaos of film. I love it, and I'm having fun. Good episode today. Today's going to be the first segment of my popcorn pick lists. We are doing my top 90s action movies. I'm excited, been looking forward to it for a while. This is one that I'm going to have a lot of fun doing. So there's that. And then at the end of the episode, something I'm tagging on at the end, I'm going to start tagging on movie of the week. Now, movie of the week for me could be a new or recent movie that I'm just now watching. It could be an old classic that I should have seen already that I'm just now watching. And a lot of you be like, dude, what the fuck, man? Why haven't you seen that movie? Or it could be a film that I've watched many, many times and just felt like revisiting. Just whatever movie it is, it's going to be movie of the week. We will do that at the end. But yeah, dude, it's going to be a fun episode. So let's get into it, man. Let's rock some movie talk. Episode 4 of the podcast. What's up, guys? So it's been going good. I feel like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just caught my own ways and getting into it. But hey, that's why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I thought I would have fun doing it, and here I am. 90s action movies. I know it's not just me when I say that 90s action movies hit different than modern or even pre 90s. There's just something about action movies that tie you in with the practical effects. They're blowing stuff up every few minutes. You got one-liners before the final kill of the villain. You gotta love the classic one-liners. Got helicopters crashing into buildings for sometimes you don't even know why, and they're just and then you got your main hero or anti-hero or vigilante or whatever it is that you're following through it. And in the 90s, I just feel like through the cinematography and through the character development that you connected more with the action characters in the 90s. Now I feel like they focused a lot on the CGI. There's a difference between, oh, how cool can we make this computer graphics look? All right, how big can we make this actual explosion look, when they're actually doing it on minuscale little models a lot of the time and blowing things up doing it, and it's gotta love it in the film industry. Yeah, so I'm like, all right, first popcorn pick list, what should it be? 90s action flicks, man. And narrowing down the top 5. Talk about a task, man. Talk about a task. I had fun doing it. Took some diving and reminiscing, but I got it. This is it. This is the top 5 90s action flicks, in my opinion, of all time. Now, I want you to drop your favorite 90s action flicks in the comments, okay? So, popcorn pick list. We're going to be doing these every few weeks. Pick a category, give you my top in it. So, let's do this, man. Let's light the fuse and jump into my top 5 90s action movies. Here we go. All right, guys. So, at number 5, let's say somebody comes up to you in the 90s and like, hey, dude, new movie out, action flick. You got Nick Cage, long hair, southern accent, and he's got to fight his way off a prison plane. That's right. At number 5 from 1997, I have Con Air. All right, so it's Die Hard on a plane. Let's just be real. It's Die Hard on a plane. After Die Hard in the late 80s, you had a big following of movies that, okay, so you got Die Hard, takes place in a tower. It's just literally like the best action flick ever made. So let's do, hey, Die Hard on this, Die Hard on that. So here we have Die Hard on a plane. Nick Cage, action movies in the 90s. Probably his best. I don't know. This is peak 90s ridiculous energy. You love it every step of the way. You got a stacked cast from Nick Cage to you got Danny Trejo, Steve Buscemi, John Malkovich, John Cusack, Dave Chappelle. Yeah, and the list just keeps growing. It is definitely a stacked cast. You got that perfect blend of awesome, not quite even over the top action, I would say. I mean, every action movie's got a little over the top action, but the 90s did it in more of a subtle way to where it was still that much more believable than what you got that started really, really. I mean, there's a few movies that tried, but what started really in like the early 2000s, turn of the millennium, started relying heavily on CGI. So with the 90's actions like that, especially Con Air, the explosions, we'll get to the top scenes here in a minute, but you can't beat it. All right, so let's check out standout characters of Con Air. You got, of course, Cameron Poe, played by Nicolas Cage. As the main character, he did very well. The Southern accent thing still throws me off to this day. If you've watched as many other Nick Cage movies as I have, you're still like, that Southern accent thing. Like, he pulled it off almost in like a funny way, unintentional comedy right there, alone in Nick Cage's accent through the entire movie. But I think he did well. I think he did well. It made it worth watching. It's a good element. It adds to it. This was actually my introduction. First time I remember seeing John Malkovich, and he's playing the villain. And who other could play Cyrus the Virus? Man, nobody moves or the bunny gets it. Will that win best quote? I don't know. Um, so that was pretty much my introduction to John Malkovich. I've seen, of course, a lot of his other movies after that. And then you got Steve Buscemi playing Garland Green, who, when you grow up watching Steve Buscemi and Airheads and other Adam Sandler flicks, but he pops up in a lot of my favorite movies, and all of a sudden he's just there. And him as Garland Green in this movie, I think, winning role. I'll just say it right now. I think that's the winning role in my opinion. Then I mentioned Danny Trejo being in it, Johnny 23. I actually got the chance to recently go see him speak here at the college in Fresno, and he was speaking about recovery, and I was going because I am in recovery myself, 6 months sober from the alcoholism. Probably one of the reasons I was able to get up off my ass and actually start doing this podcast. So that was cool to see Danny Trejo and him being such a raunchy character in here. He's such a nice guy. It seems when you see him speak on stage, and I've watched interviews and stuff, and just such a nice guy. But and then he plays these raunchy, crazy characters. It's like when him and Machete, uh, other movies. He's just usually like from Dust Till Dawn. He's got a usually a pretty dark, crazy, and then he's just such a cool, recovered guy. Sober. So that was cool to see him. Uh, but yeah, you got a lot of standout characters in this movie, and big name actors that I believe, in my opinion, work well together. Sometimes John Cusack sometimes did not have my favorite roles. Say it right now, 2012, the movie itself was decent. I just thought they got casted the wrong guy for it. Sorry, John. Sorry, Cusack. Top scene in this movie. Let's try to think of three. I mean, all right. Let's cut right to the end. The Vegas crash right at the end, and then the chase on the fire truck. That's a pretty good closing scene. I like that for an action movie. Some of them try too hard. I feel like that one almost tried too hard, but got right under that threshold of actually being over the top too much. So I enjoyed that. Once it starts picking up and all right, tension's building, is the whole put the bunny back in the box scene when he finally goes down there to the like storage space of the plane, and guys going through his stuff, and then you got the crazy. I like confined fight scenes, where it's like, all right, there's nowhere to go. You get, and they're like literally crouched trying to fight, so it adds a little bit of like a claustrophobic element to a fight in an action movie. So that was enjoyable. My favorite scene though, I think, is the uh the boneyard ambush. And that because dude, all right, you got explosions literally every 30 seconds, maybe less. You got them firing out the window, blowing up cop cars. You got the main detective guy's car gets it. He ends up hooking it to the plane and ends up flying away. No, mine's back at the shop, or mine's back at the office, whatever he says. And it's just flying over that whole scene. That's probably my favorite because that's ultimate 90's action right there in a scene. You got everybody just going at it. It's like a big old war out in the desert, sand, explosions. Yeah, that's what we came for. So at number 5, we have Con Air. At number 4, From 1994, I have True Lies, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis. Probably one of my most quoted action movies. It's so quotable just from the opening scene. I mean, here's my invitation. Started off with a good explosion. All right, so you got James Cameron coming after T2, before Titanic, wants to throw out an action movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I feel like he was like, I want to do like a James Bond, secret spy agent guy, and but instead of being the ladies' man traveling all around, I want him to be a family guy, and his family gets pulled into it. Which you can't argue with that storyline. I mean, I think it's like you just think about it. It's like, yeah, that works. Who else better to do it than James Cameron himself? Arnold Schwarzenegger being a secret agent guy and try to balance being a husband and a father. Yep, to a teenager, mind you. As a father to a teenager myself, there's no way I'm going to be a secret agent spy guy. No way. This movie works so well between its awesome action scenes and its awesome comedy tied in with it. Every time Arnold and Tom Arnold are on the screen together, they're great. I thought the chemistry between them was gold. Standout characters: Arnold Schwarzenegger as Harry. I love Tom Arnold in this movie. In my opinion, can we just talk about it for a second? He steals every scene he's in. He's funny, and then he gets serious for a second.
What'd you expect, Harry? Helen's a flesh and blood woman, and you're never there. It's just a matter of time.
But I still love it. I laugh every time during the shootout, and he hides behind a pole that, let's just be honest, way thinner than him, and just tries to duck behind it. And he goes to check that he's okay, check it everywhere, checks his balls. Oh, okay, they're still there, and runs off. That's it's so funny. Here, right here. This movie has so many awesome scenes, in my opinion, from the opening snowmobile ski down the hill, him taking out everybody. I love the dogs. Stay. Poor dogs, though. Kill the humans, man. Don't touch the dogs. All the way to the jet at the end and the 7 Mile bridge. It's just scene after scene of awesome, intense action. Some of my tops. All right, we got to start off with the horse chase. We got a horse versus a motorcycle. We had to put this in a movie somewhere, right? I'm glad it was this one. It was executed perfectly. It's funny, but intense at the same time. You literally got a horse chasing a motorcycle through the middle of a big city. It's great. And then it even ends up in like a shopping mall, going up the elevator. You got the final jet scene, the carrier jet taking out the terrorist, and having the daughters hanging from the plane. It's like it gets pretty intense right there. It's up there. And I'm a guy, so I am this is the 90s. I'm literally peak puberty, and you got the Jamie Lee Curtis dance scene. Got to throw it in there for because as far as artistic too, though, it was done so well, and Jamie Lee Curtis did it so well. So those are probably my tops. And if I might say, this movie has very fun dad action energy. As a father myself to three girls, kind of comparing that, imagine if I was like secret agent spy guy, the balancing fatherhood with that'd be a fun one. Um, but so I relate with that, and I think Arnold did it very well with the dad energy. So at number 4 from 1994, we have True Lies. All right, so at number 3, we already did Die Hard on a Plane. Let's do Die Hard on a Bus. Yes, at number 3 from 1994 as well, I have Speed, starring Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock, and Dennis Hopper. If you don't like this 90s action movie, I mean, to each his own, but what the hell, man? You got the simple premise of a bomb on a bus executed better than I think anybody else could. Non-stop tension. Every scene is building up to the next scene. It's done. It's one of the movies that I constitute a perfect action film. Now, of course, not everything's perfect. The bus jump is one of the best scenes, but I don't know if the physics actually support it, so you can't call it like scientifically perfect. But as a 90's action film, it's a perfect fucking movie. The chemistry between Keanu and Sandra Bullock at that time, which I think allegedly, I don't know, I've seen some quick interviews and stuff like that. There's a little bit of a crush going on there. A little bit, "Hey, he's cute, oh, she's cute" thing going on. So they had good chemistry. Dennis Hopper as the villain is great. I mean, seriously, from opening scene, oh yeah, here I got my paperwork, and he shoves a knife into the guy's skull, or was it a screwdriver? I think I grew up thinking it was a screwdriver, but then when you look, it might be a knife. I don't know, but yeah, he just kills him real quick, and then you got the elevator sequence, and then you meet Harry and Jack Travis. And, their chemistry is cool too. They did well together. Just the whole premise of the movie was, I think, perfect. You got the subway ending, the bomb reveal. I love the scene when Jack is under the bus and he's on the little creeper thing and they're towing him at the same time. See, it's like you got no boundaries. All right, we got a bus that can't go below 50 miles an hour, and you got to, what all can we try to disarm it without, so coming up with that, I think coming up with the scenes and the story and the writing would have been super fun on this movie. Uh, really well done there. I had to throw that scene in. The practical effects, of course, like a lot of movies in the 90's, just make it feel so real. Yeah, like you could, and they all still hold up with these movies. You watch them today, and it's like, man, you can't beat practical effects. You cannot beat it at all. I mean, the right amount of CGI can work, but taking the time to do practical effects and stunt work is the way to do movies, in my opinion. You got to find that right balance. We talk about action movies and their one-liners, like before, after the main kill of the villain. I think that Speed has one of my favorites. Spoiler alert. Yes, if you haven't seen Speed, the ending, right when he kills him, because he's like, I can't remember what Dennis Hopper says to him, but then Keanu's like, yeah, but I'm taller. Because he was able to reach and lift him up, and then his head comes off. And it was like, I felt like Jack Travers disappeared, and all of a sudden we had Ted Theodore Logan up on top of that subway go, yeah, but I'm taller. He did the accent so perfect. Great movie. At number 3, we have Speed. Here we are. Now we're down to the final two. Now I'm going to let you know both of my top two action movies are sequels in franchises. Yes. And I have a feeling once I tell you my number two, a lot of you are going to be like, what the fuck? How is that number two? What the hell is number one? Remember, this list is biased. It's my opinion. It's my nostalgia. It's what I grew up with. So let's get into it, man. The final two in my top 5 90's action movies. At number 2, James Cameron making his second appearance on this list. Yes, 1991, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Arguably the best sequel ever made. Arguably the best action movie ever made. It does fall at number 2 for me. Man, where do you start with this film? Okay, we got groundbreaking CGI, some of the best practical effects you've ever seen in any movie, not just a 90's action movie, in any movie. The acting, superb. The storyline, superb. E- ugh. Introducing Edward Furlong, who went on to do quite a few movies that I absolutely love. So between the revolutionary CGI, the awesome practical effects, then you've got the reveal of the T-1000. All of a sudden, you're like, and I saw the first Terminator, of course, first. I was really young. And then I saw this one probably on, I want to say it was HBO, the movie channels, we had the cable special where you got the movie channels for like free for like a little while. So we had them, And I think that was when I first watched this movie, long after it was in theaters and stuff. And coming off the first one, it was like, oh man, this is even more intense. You got this liquid metal guy, that reveal, and then of course you have the straight switch up coming off the first one. You know Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator, which is almost like a horror villain in the first one, and he's the bad guy. And then the turn, which I love, they're in the mall, going through the back rooms. There are the back hallways and stuff. I used to hang out back there when I was a kid too. We always used to walk back there, even though we weren't supposed to. Just to, you know, we like to explore uncharted territory. Okay, that's just how we were as kids. And he's running back through there, and then the reveal that Arnold Schwarzenegger is a good Terminator.
Get down.
That was mind blowing at that time, man. When that happened, it was like, wait, what? Oh shit, he's good. The other guy's trying to kill him. Shoot him! Shoot him! What the hell is that? That guy's just liquid metal? Yeah, revolutionary right there at that time, man. What do you think? One of the greatest like chase vehicle chase scenes from a '90s action flick or an action flick period? When the truck versus the motorcycle, it starts off. You got John Connor running on a little dirt bike. He's even getting bumped after that whole build up when he's like, "All right, I'm free." He looks behind him and then takes out the bridge. It just drops down in the canal. And then you transfer them, just picking them up. Then you transfer from the dirt bike to the big Harley, and the chase scene continues. Ends in an awesome explosion, and then the full body liquid metal veal walking out of the fire. Wow, wow, good job, James Cameron. That was it's iconic. You got quote after quote. I mean, so you've got your main ones like "Hasta la vista, baby." You know, the first one had "I'll be back," and I love pretty much all of Arnold's quotes in this one. One of my favorite, personally, is "Chill out, dickwad." Yeah, you got that one. I love the conversation after they get holed up in that little garage, and he's looking at the bullet holes in the Terminator's jacket. Does that hurt when you get shot? I sense pain, or I, I sense injuries. The data could be called pain. I like that one. Just full of quotes. So you got perfect action, perfect quotes. You got Linda Hamilton, who I fell in love with, the badass chick trying to army it up, and she do from the opening when you first see her, and she's doing the pull ups again, and it's like, okay, so this is not the same Sarah Connor as I remember from the first one, right? She is badass. I'd say top two of my favorite badass female characters. Ellen Ripley from Alien first, of course, but Sarah Connor number two. Robert Patrick as the T-1000. His running style right before you get to the motorcycle chase when he's chasing him out of the garage, he does that perfect aerodynamic. You guys know what I'm talking about. I it you picture anybody else doing that, it was like, I don't know if that works. He does it, it's like, oh, golden, keep it. Yes, love it. Answer the question: is it the greatest action movie like ever made? It's my number two, so obviously not in my opinion. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. I have the special edition VHS back here on display. We will get to that on my VHS Time Machine series. I don't know if you checked out the first episode of that, Disney Classics. That's up on YouTube. So if you want to check that out, but we will go through some special edition VHSs that I have on VHS Time Machine. But yes, at number two, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. All right, and so before we get to my number one '90s action movie of all time, some honorable mentions. I want to throw out The Rock, John Connery, and Nick Cage. Yes, the great movie. The Fugitive. Good job, Harrison Ford. I had to throw a Harrison Ford one on there, right? No, The Fugitive was great. Love that movie. Nick Cage again. Face Off with John Travolta. That one got close to making the list. One of my personal favorites, I don't know if a lot of people even like this one because I know the acting in some parts can be, but Broken Arrow with Christian Slater, John Travolta. Yeah, that one I feel like is a little underrated. I really liked that movie. And then, of course, you've got just barely making the cut, the groundbreaking 1999's The Matrix. That was, very close to making the list. So, got some good honorable mentions there. What are your favorites? You guys make sure you drop your favorite action movies from the 90s in the comments. I want to read them all. Tell me which ones I got wrong, which ones you put at which spots. So let me know. That's what I'm doing this for too. I want to hear. I want to engage in the film community. So let me know. All right, man. We're here. Number one. My top action movie of the 90s. Also another sequel. It is the third film in the Die Hard franchise, Die Hard with a Vengeance. Yes. Yes, I'm so excited. I love this movie. I almost want to just watch it right after I get done with this podcast. This was my action movie in the 90s. Again, I saw it probably right after its theatrical release, probably rented it or caught it on one of the movie channels. And this is what set me down. This is the movie why I wanted my parents to buy me toy guns. This is the movie why I convinced my friends in the neighborhood to not play Terminator, to not play whatever action sequence they cops and robbers. We're going to play Die Hard with a Vengeance. I'm a cop. You're a bad guy. So it is kind of cops and bad guys, but I am not just any cop. I am fucking John McClane. The first two Die Hards, which are great. First one can't count as a 90s movie due to its late 80s release, but and the second one is an okay sequel. The third one, I think, rivals the first. That's my opinion. You got better graphics in the 90s, better practical effects. Another thing I really love about the third Die Hard, so the first one's great, don't get me wrong, but you're confined to Nakatomi Towers. In the second one, you're confined to an airport. The third one, the director, John McTiernan, who also directed the first one, said, no, we're going open territory. You got all fucking New York to play with. So you got all in New York. First one that's open territory. You got John McClane, who's on suspension because his life's just hitting the shitter, hungover as hell the next day. He's getting just dragged into this. This time it's not like, oh, I'm here, bat wrong place, wrong time. It's like, hey, no, we need you. Get in here. So, and then you've also got the chemistry between him and Samuel L. Jackson. First Die Hard that you actually get the buddy through the entire thing too. That's another one. So you got open New York setting and you throw in the buddy element between him and Samuel L. Jackson. It's not really a buddy thing at first either. I love the tension that it starts with and you slowly build. I think it's a perfect action move from the opening scene. You just during the day, you got that groovy song going on, and then boom, somebody blows up a department store. You're in. Oh, whoa, what's going on? You got it going through. Going through the police office. Everybody's on the phone trying to figure out what's going on, and then the bad guy just calls and says, "Hey, I need John McClane. I got a bunch of fucking weird shit that I want him to do." Hooked right away. Yes, this movie is great. I think it is perfectly paced from start to finish. Does not leave anything to be desired. It every scene leads to the next perfectly. Best scenes from the opening explosion to bringing John McClane back in and him having to go to Harlem and then meets up with Samuel L. Jackson's character Zeus. Uh, that one's definitely one of my favorite scenes. The one that stands out for me as a child is the water jug puzzle. You know what I mean? So you got a 3-gallon jug and a 5-gallon jug. You got to fill one of the jugs with exactly 4 gallons of water. If you remember, and it's because otherwise the bomb's going to explode up. They're in a public park, so they got to figure this thing out. I loved the scene the just the back and forth between Sam Jackson and Bruce Willis. They did so well in the arguing and trying to figure it out. Now, what I don't like is it cuts. Is it cuts? It cuts to kind of the end, and they're like, "Oh wait, I figured it out. You got this and this," and they figured it out. It cuts everything out. Me as a kid, I'm like, "Well, wait, how did they get to that point?" So I wanted to figure it out. As a 9-year-old kid, I actually got out a piece of paper and started doing the mathematical equation. So it skips a little bit if you didn't know. All right, so you got two big jugs. You got 3 gallon and a 5 gallon. You got to fill one with exactly 4 gallons of water and then place it on the scale to disarm the bomb. They say it in the movie. Obviously, you can't fill a 3 gallon jug with 4 gallons of water, so how do they do that? All right, we're going to do this. We're going to walk through it right now. So what you do, and they skip the first half and they get just the last little bit. You fill up the 3 gallon. No, yes, you fill up the 5 gallon jug all the way. So you got 5 gallons. Then you take that jug and you fill up the 3 gallon jug with the 5 gallon jug. So 3 gallons goes into the 3 gallon jug, leaving you 2 gallons in the 5 gallon jug. Dumps the 3 gallons out of the 3 gallon jug. Put the 2 gallons in from the 5 gallon jug into the 3 gallon jug. So now you got 2 gallon jugs, or you got 2 gallons in the 3 gallon jug. This is where they start. Fill up the water, the 5 gallon jug. So you got full 5 gallons here, 2 gallons in the 3 gallon jug, leaving 1 gallon of empty space. You pour 1 gallon out of 5 gallons in there, you have exactly
4 gallons in there. Yes! Pour it in there. Come on. Come on. Don't spill it.
The scene was, I don't know, a quick little puzzle in the middle of an action movie so you don't blow up. It worked so good. I loved it. Another one of my favorite scenes, though, also is when they've got to get to the subway on Wall Street in a certain amount of time, and they get the taxi, and they're having to drive from one end of New York to the other, and it seems impossible, but they get it done, kind of half done. That bomb was going to go off either way. So that scene, it's got one of my favorite little John McClane quirky quotes right in the middle of it. Then you have the ending, having to get onto the boat, and they take the cables down. So that whole scene, just scene after scene of good, awesome, just plain action. Just good action. You got standout characters too. You got the chemistry between Bruce Willis and Sam Jackson and their journey and their relationship throughout, trying not to die. And then Jeremy Irons as the villain. I like it. I like how they set it up where he's just kind of behind the phone for, a good chunk of the movie. And then they finally reveal his voice acting just over the phone was perfect. And then when you actually meet him, I think he's a really good villain. It's awesome. I always hear Scar from Lion King and his voice, It's just, for me, this movie is the most rewatchable of 90s action movies. I could throw it on at any time. The dialogue keeps you entertained. Just each scene going from scene to scene, also just action. Oh no, he's about to get jumped by a bunch of guys in Harlem. Now he's got to team up with this guy. Oh no, they've got to get to this place where there's a bomb going off. Oh nope, now you got to drive a dump truck when you got a collapsed dam coming in behind you, about to flood you out. It was like the first time Die Hard really went over the top on it, because I kind of think a little bit, though, if he's on the top of that dump truck and that water's just pushing in, he grabs on. I think that thing's gonna rip him off. I mean, I know you're strong, John McClane, but I think that was the first time Die Hard went a little over the top. They get more over the top in the fourth and the fifth. I don't even talk about the fifth. Die Hard with a Vengeance, 1995. It's my favorite. That's it. That's number one. So that is my top list. Little recap. You had at number 5, Con Air. At number 4, we had True Lies. At number 3, we had Speed. At number 2, we had Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and number 1, Die Hard with a Vengeance. That is my top 5 90s action movies of all time. Thank you for joining me on that, man. That was really fun. I was looking forward to doing that segment for a long time. It was like one of the first ones I came up with when I decided I'd even do a podcast. But I got a lot more. I got a lot more coming, man. So, yeah. All right, guys, new segment. Movie of the week. Like I said, this could be a movie that's recent or brand new that I'm just now watching. It could be a movie that's been out since the beginning of movies that I just haven't got around to seeing that everybody else would be like, dude, what the fuck? You haven't seen that? And I'm just now watching. Trust me, there are some of those. Or it could be a movie that I've seen 3 times, a million times, 20 times, and I just felt like revisiting. Movie of the week. For this week, I finally watched Fantastic Four First Steps. Been kind of since Endgame, it's been like on the whole MCU Marvel thing for me. I was like, I've loved a few of the shows. WandaVision was great. Loki. A couple of the other ones were, Falcon and the Winter Soldier wasn't that big of a fan of. Feel like they could have done a 2-hour movie and been done with that. Fantastic Four First Steps. No spoilers. It was a breath of fresh air in the MCU. Okay, so I'm trying because I decided to start watching them because I'm trying to build up for Doomsday coming out in December. Um, and everybody was kept, dude. All right, finally a good Fantastic Four movie. I'm like, really, really, because that's a bold statement. Because the other ones suck. Am I lying? Anybody else like any of the other? Yeah, there might be. Yeah, there's probably somebody out there that likes those. I'm sorry. I just don't like them. I was like, not a good Fantastic Four movie. Not a good Fantastic Four movie. This one, Pedro Pascal, dude, he nailed it. I think it was really good. Good storyline. They're building up for Avengers Doomsday with this, adding some more stuff. I really like how they went. They would go more very cartoony, very comic book style, like 1960s comic book style, but with still really good graphics. And I think it was a breath of fresh air in the MCU. I think it's what we needed. Finally got around to watching it. I know been out a while, but yeah. So movie of the week, Fantastic Four First Steps. Thank you guys for joining me once again for another episode of Popcorn and Chaos. It's always a good time. Next episode is going to be another chaotic breakdown. It's our second one. The last one we broke down Tremors, 1990. That was a fun time. So the next chaotic breakdown we're doing next week, we're going comedy, full scale slapstick comedy, one of my favorites and perhaps even most quotable comedies of the 2000s, Dodgeball, a true underdog story, starring Vince Vaughn and Ben Stiller. Yes, we're going to be doing the chaotic breakdown on the next episode. So please join in. Don't forget to hit the like, the subscribe, the follow, all that mamma jamba. Go over on Instagram at Popcorn and Chaos Pod. Follow me there. And I will see you guys next time, dude. Peace.